There we go. All right. So starting at the bottom of the card, we have got Kyle Driscoll taking on Dennis Piva. Dennis Piva. And what we have here is Kyle Driscoll coming out of AKA. Good double leg takedowns, offensive pressure game, likes to grind his opponents against the fence, always looking for heavy top control. He ended up missing weight by a half pound, had to strip down, use the box of shame to get weighed in at 146. Taking on Dennis Piva, who is heavy on his feet, likes to march forward, methodical, long jab, big left hand, sneaky head kick, strong hips, and he fishes extremely well for underhooks. He knows how to fight up against the fence. Honestly, in my opinion, if Dennis Piva can keep this fight on the feet, he should win. He should win here. And right now, he's a plus 150 underdog. Not all the books have dropped lines yet. So more often than not, I think that your book's lines are going to look a little different than this because these are opening lines. They're going to get hit hard. They're going to get hit early. And then you'll get a more mature line a little bit later when you have the opportunity. I can't even bet it right now. But I will be looking at Piva. I think Piva is a live dog in this spot. I like his skill set. And that's the way I would lean on this first fight of the card. Gas Station. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the kind words. And we got the sports keg in the house. Jay, my man, what is going on? Haven't seen you in a minute, buddy. Hope you are well, my friend. And thank you, my friend. I hope we're doing that as well. Another nice night would be fantastic. All right. Second night of the fight. Second fight of the night. Let's try that again. Your boy's getting tongue twisted. We've been live for a little bit here. I need some dinner. I need a shower. And I want to go watch some football. We have got Danielle Wolf taking on Tennant. I think that's how you pronounce that. This is a really interesting fight. So Danielle Wolf is 37 years old. She is 0-0. This is her MMA debut. She is an Olympic caliber boxing world champion. Solid Muay Thai skills. I found some video of her training out at Tiger Muay Thai, and you all know Tiger Muay Thai is one of my number one gyms in the world. If you train MMA at Tiger, you are in extremely good hands. They're gonna get you prepped for everything that you need to go. So she's in a very good place, and you got to think they've addressed the grappling out there, although I haven't been able to find any video of it. Troy, my friend, yes, we will do another collab with Lynch as soon as we can. I've actually got a special guest for you all next week. It's not James Lynch. We got a special guest again next week, though, but I will get Lynch back on the show. I love breaking down fights with that guy. He's a good dude. So what we've got here is a weird spot because she's taking on Tennant, who is training with Sajara Eubanks. She's training with Claudia. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. Really long jab. She's got a decent 1-2, good footwork, but she's extremely green. She is only 3-0. Now, she does have 2 amateur fights and then 2 exhibition bouts. So in total, she's got 7 MMA fights, and that's a decent chunk of extra experience. But she is a striker. I haven't seen her shoot a single takedown. Have not seen her go for it. And because of that, honestly, I can't trust her here against Wolf because Wolf is big. Wolf has a size and a speed advantage in this spot. And her real weakness would be the fact that she's not good on the ground. She's a boxer. But if her opponent isn't going to come in and look to grapple with her, she's probably going to knock her out. I almost cursed there badly. Sorry about that. Yeah, the clinch. Yeah, that's right. And I don't know. I think this is Wolf or pass. Honestly, this is probably mostly just a pass spot because we don't. I don't know. Do you want to lay minus 150 on a chick making her MMA debut? Not her UFC debut, but her MMA debut? I don't know. That's sketchy. If you need some action for the night, I would look at Wolf. I think she's the side. She probably gets the win. I honestly think that Tennant's being kind of led to slaughter here. They really want to pump up this Olympic boxer coming in here. It doesn't seem like she's getting the Mayweather treatment. They're not trying to make her look bad. You know what I mean? That's not the kind of thing they're doing in this spot. So I think they want Wolf to win, and I think this is a very winnable fight for her. And Andrew, I would love to have Robin back on the show. He said he'd come on again sometime. I'm hoping we can get him a little more betting savvy, so maybe the next one can run a little bit smoother. But I would absolutely love to have him back on. He said to hit him up in a couple weeks, so maybe in a month or so I will reach out to him and we'll get him back on the pod. Corey Coop coming in here, taking on Michel Lombardo. Michel. That always makes me think of dodgeball. My fitness consigliere, Michel. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. So what we've got here is Corey Cup. He trains with James Krause, which another one of my favorite fighters and favorite coaches. James Krause, incredible MMA mind, does some great work. Cup has a wrestling background. He's got a big body kick, a good guard. He uses the rubber guard well to lock his opponents down from what I've seen, but he ends up on the bottom a lot and he gets stuck there. He's one of these guys. He's one of these guys that gives up the takedown and then he likes to work from the bottom. But I don't know that I trust him there. I don't know that he's actually savvy enough off of his back to go ahead and put the... I don't know. I just don't trust him. If he's going to end up on his back, I don't like him. And at the weigh-ins, he's massive. He is huge. Now, Michel, this is his second time on the Contender Series. Kid's a fast starter. He's got really precise, accurate striking, good hands, nice counter left hook, and he likes to bully his opponents up against the fence. He's got good second and third efforts with his takedowns, hits the trips, looks to put people on their back. And honestly, I just expect him to grind here. Michel Lombardo is my pick here in this spot because I think he's got the exact style that's going to give a guy like Coop problems. If he can put Coop up against the fence, we're good to go. If he can put Cup on his back, as long as he can keep himself safe, we're good. The problem is Coop has got those long, long limbs, and in jiu-jitsu, arm bars and triangles, they come quick when you've got those legs. Now, Coop did win his last fight via TKO, but it was kind of a weak stoppage in my opinion. He triangled up his opponent, and his opponent was kind of stuck there, and he was just hammering away with elbows from inside of his guard. And while that is a solid move to make, I don't feel like he was actually hurting his opponent, and I feel like the stoppage came a little bit early. So I'm not sure that Coop is really UFC level, and I think the Contender Series experience for a guy like Lombardo is going to pay dividends here. So what we've got in this spot is Lombardo as a minus 180 favorite. Looks like money is coming in the other way. The size of Coop is a big question mark in my opinion. So this one may be a pass for me because I don't know if he should be that big of a favorite. So I'm not sure I'll pull the trigger on that one. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Lombardo goes ahead and gets the win. Then we have got Muhammad John Naimov taking on Colin Anglin. Now Muhammad John, this kid's sick. Biggest favorite on the card. And I expect him to do work here. All right. 5-0. Normally you want to see a little more experience than that, but he's just a steamroller. Nice level changes, strong in top position, willing to go to work inside of his opponent's guard. He doesn't even have to pass to beat you up. He's willing to just posture up and start raining down power shots. Pressure fighter, nasty leg kicks when he marches forward. He's got a big overhand right. Another one of these guys that kind of reminds me of a Justin Gaethje. He is willing to sit in the pocket and brawl with his opponents, which obviously that can be detrimental, but he seems to come out on top more often than not. And he had to dig deep in his fight against Shane Brown. He got hurt badly in that fight, and he had his back taken. He was flattened out completely, and then he dug deep. He reversed position, and he ended up taking his opponent's back and choking him out. That's the kind of thing you want to see. This kid knows what it's like to face adversity. He knows how to get the shovel off of his back and just go to work and dig himself out of that hole and still get the finish. I am incredibly impressed with this kid. And like I said, rightfully so, he's a minus 375 favorite. He's taken on Colin, who trains out of Factory X. It's not a bad place to be. Honestly, he doesn't look like a half-bad kid. Flurries when he gets opponents up against the cage. He's got a nice uppercut, a big right hand. But honestly, he's willing to move backwards. And when he moves backwards, he's got no offense. He's an offense-forward-only type of fighter. And if he can't move forward, he has no way to win. He drops his hands, leaves his chin up. I got Naimov by knockout. Anglin's last two opponents were 1-1 and 1-3. So he's fought a couple of guys that are half decent, but his last couple fights, winning spectacularly when you've got 7 pro fights and your opponent has 2, I'm not sold. I am not sold. Thank you very much, Andrew. I appreciate you, my friend. Means a lot. Really does. I'm glad we have such a positive group of people. I've worked really, really hard to make sure we keep the positivity level up, and more often than not, that shines in the fan base. You guys being just as positive as I am makes all the difference in the world for this show. So thank you all for being here with me. I appreciate it. The main event of the Contender Series this week is Gregory Rodriguez taking on Jordan Williams, and this is a hell of a fight. Gregory Rodriguez is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion black belt. Big time ground skills. He is in crazy good shape, too. I did some stalking. Always got to do the Instagram stalking. He looks damn good right now. Very calm, very composed. He bullies his opponents up against the fence. He puts his size and his strength to work. He likes to pin people up against the cage or put them on the mat, and then he just smothers them. If you've ever been under a legit black belt on the mat, it is not fun. And this is one of those guys that prides himself on making it not fun to be underneath him. You do not want to be on your back under this guy. He's another fighter who knows how to dig deep and survive. He's been rocked in a couple of fights that I've seen him really be able to do what he's got to do to flip the script and then come back and win. And he's got underrated power in his hands too. He's fully capable of knocking his opponents out in there. And honestly, he's got a big size advantage here. He's much bigger than Jordan Williams at the face-offs. That was something that stood out to me immediately. Now, Williams, he's a forward pressure guy, always walking forward, good solid boxing, keeps his hands low though. He struggles defensively. He's one of these guys that is willing to give a shot to take a shot, and honestly, I've seen him give up takedowns more than once. He does have a good get-up game though, so he's not the kind of guy that's going to get stuck down there. He will work back to his feet. But he wades into shots. He's willing to eat them to try to fire back one of his own, and you can't do that against a guy like Rodriguez, in my opinion. He has big ground and pound if he can get on top of you. I don't know if he'll ever end up on top of Rodriguez. This is a guy it's his third attempt on Dana White's Contender Series. And I talked about this live on the show with my boys. I talked specifically more about it with Guru. Nobody has lost their third attempt on the Contender Series. So far, third-timers on the Contender Series are undefeated. I'm looking at the other side here. He had another TKO win that was overturned due to marijuana. We're seeing that around the MMA world recently. So no big deal there. He had a good TKO win. And then he's taken 2 knockout losses, both UFC caliber fighters. So you can't really fault him too much there, but he's been cracked before. I really think that I'm going to make a play here on Rodriguez. Now, unfortunately, apparently I'm not the only one thinking that. The money is already coming in on him. He's dropped to a minus 130. I hope I can get my hands on that, because if I can bet Rodriguez, I will. I don't think Williams is UFC caliber. I think that take a shot to give a shot attitude is not going to be something that works for him. He doesn't have the chin to do it. He doesn't have the striking accuracy or the power to do it. And he's taking on a guy who is tough and gritty and durable enough to go ahead and answer that call if he wants to play that fight. And then if they end up in any kind of a grappling situation, Rodriguez has a massive, massive advantage. The only way Williams can win this fight is by knockout, in my opinion. So because of that, way more opportunity for Rodriguez to get the dub here. That's it, folks. That's my Contender Series breakdown.